Aloha. I am Tara, the metabolic therapist. It is Tune In Tuesday, and we are growing our meetup here on YouTube so that you can join us and type some questions, share in the aloha, the do-it-yourself at-home gut care, and connection with like-minded people. So my passion is around digestive wellness. I help women who are struggling with digestive stress, and I help them to regain their vitality and energy. So happy to share with you here today, and welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're just tuning in now, please like, comment, so that I know that you're here. This style of live is new for me, so I'm giving myself some courage to try something and learn. But I believe that this can be a space for us to come together. I'm really wanting to utilize this time for creating virtual association as well as connection. And I believe that we can do it, So thanks for joining. And know that I'm happy to share some about me, but I've been in health and wellness since, I'd say 2005. I grew up, a little bit about my background. I grew up very, standard American in terms of like diet and lifestyle. I grew up playing sports. I was a great student, but very much, I had allergens, to foods that I didn't know about that at the time, but I struggled with itchy skin and asthma, which led to like bronchial infections often and antibiotics aplenty. So I had my share of like the other side of that. And it was in my early 20s that I decided to take the power back, and I was getting more and more into yoga. And I had a teacher that suggested a fast. And at that time, I couldn't even wrap my head around it. What do you mean? Don't eat or drink for 7 days. Like, I'll starve. And I went, that first 7 days, and it wasn't, not drinking anything. I definitely had liquids. But the knowing that came from within, it enhanced my life beyond measure. So through the practice of yoga, we are reminded to slow down and connect to our breath and our body's wisdom. So I utilize these practices even when I'm having discomfort in my own digestive system, so that I can tune in and hear what my body's telling me. Is this really a craving? Am I truly hungry? Do I have to have that cheesecake after dinner? Is it a celebration and a reason for it? Or am I choosing to de-stress with some emotional eating patterns? So as women, as humans, this has perpetuated in our generations as if it's okay. And I'm here to say that together we can find a way to check in with ourselves to find out really what are we wanting and needing, so that we can feel more empowered with our choices of consumption, right? Because we can choose that biscuit and it may feel, soothing for the time being, yet it also may, spike our blood sugar response to where we feel good and then come crashing down again. And then we end up being in this spiral of chasing cravings. So I love to share with my clients, my friends, anybody that's willing to talk about it. Just kidding. I just love to share in the passion around self-connection and how that can help us with our weight goals, our health goals, and confidence in ourselves and how we show up in the world. All right, so let me know when you're here, and if you have any questions. I also have some questions from people that I'd love to share, and know that, if you couldn't make it today, that we are going to share this, up as an upload. But the idea here is that we'll create an online community, and there's privacy, because I realize some people don't like, talking shit. I don't mind. I have been a colon hydrotherapist, helping people with problems in their belly and being backed up and such. Started doing that in 2011. I've led retreats on it. I've done training programs, and now I'm coaching people more on a one-on-one basis, to really get in and find out the inner workings of each of us, because we are different. Not every diet is the same for everybody. And it's, I know from experience, it's not fair to assume that everybody needs the same protocol, elimination diet, and more. So more and more, I'm working with women that are acknowledging, hey, I've got some autoimmunity, leaky gut. When I'm stressed, I overeat, and then I feel belly aches for, days on end. I'm bloated. I can't get rid of this tire around my belly. These kinds of symptoms are letting us know that our body is, for lack of a better term, I'll come up with another one, I'm sure, but metabolically unfit is the term that we'll call it. So this is very different than metabolism. Metabolism, as I was raised, I was like, oh, my metabolism's working if I'm, fit and trim and look really great. And if I had gained weight, then, oh, my metabolism slowed down. And that's one way to look at it. But our metabolic function, what's happening inside of each cell, you'll probably remember that we have trillions of cells throughout this beautiful body. But in each cell, there's functionality, and there's processing for our body to cleanse itself, to squeeze out toxins that it is not serving for our body and its functions, as well as to repair itself. So it's, our body is not meant to just, cleanse, detox. There's time and space for that, but there's also the rebuilding process and the nourishing process, the resting process. So I love to share that with like-minded folks that are interested in a holistic approach to their lifestyle and best health. All right. So in terms of, do you find that there's different things that flare up your distress and your digestion? Is that around certain foods? Is it around certain seasons? Do you notice that when you're carrying more stress, or like the weight of the world on your shoulders, does that flare up symptoms in your body? Give me some feedback. Let me know what you're working on and what helps you. For me, I found that eating 3 meals a day, every day for 7 days a week, often with mixed foods, would end up being, I would end up feeling sluggish in my digestion. I would end up being backed up, maybe not having bowel movements regularly in the morning. That's a sign of health, people. Please, the body, when it wakes up in the morning, it's natural for the functions to excrete. So, utilizing the restroom for urination as well as excretion, having a bowel movement is normal in the morning. This is a sign that your systems are working. If you wake up in the morning and you're relying on your cup of coffee to help you to have a bowel movement, this is signaling that there could be some support, that you could train the colon, you can hydrate more, as well as take a break. There's nothing wrong with skipping a meal. And skipping a meal doesn't mean to go without and to go hungry, because that's, who wants to do that? What I mean and what I do is, if I'm feeling backed up or sluggish, not only in my excretion, how many bowel movements I'm having per day, I also can tell if I'm feeling fatigued or run down, I'm not able to like make it through the day, that my digestive system, and I love this picture. I love this picture because it's our digestive system stretched out. You probably remember growing up, and every time, this is studying all of the organs of the digestive system, but you'll see here the small intestine and the large intestine, also known as the colon, when spread out, look how much space there is. I see this also as opportunity for debris and constipated matter to also get stuck all along this pathway. So we first start out by chewing our food, we swallow it, it goes through the stomach, which is a really acidic organ designed to protect us. This body's amazing. And after the stomach breaks down the chewed food, it goes down through this duodenum, where the liver and the gallbladder support the breaking down and getting enzymes to support moving further throughout our digestive system, because it's here in the small intestine and then the colon that the body continues to excrete fuel and nourishment, and then choose, oh, okay, I don't want that, let's move that along to be removed as waste. So this body is fascinating in its ability to discern and choose what it wants to hold on to and what it'd like to get rid of. And as long as we are nourishing ourselves with plenty hydration and good water too, like do you take a look? Do you just drink the tap water and trust that the chlorine you might be able to smell from the tap water is safe in this body? Oh, please no! Please get a filter of some sort on your water. Yeah, hydration really helps to move along our digestive matter. Okay, so skipping a meal, back to a practical tip would be to simply skip a meal and have some soup. Have some soup, and not soup with crackers and pasta in it, but how about a blended soup? My favorite is bone broth, and I have a recipe for a bone broth latte that I'll share here on YouTube. And super easy, and a way to get bone broth in every day or several times a week, because it's soothing along this entire digestive tract. But I'll also just do bone broth as a meal, or my favorite, I love, who are some of the, Oso Bone Broth is a company that I really appreciate. Kettle and Fire is a company that I like as well. They make all organic, clean sourced animal soups. So that would be bone broth. They also do tomato soups and vegetable soups. They come more as like a puree. And what's nice, it may look like baby food, but what it is it's easy to digest. This, where we first take in and we utilize, when we're chewing our food, we're masticating this food, and the enzymes in the mouth begin to break down the food, right? And when we take something that's blended or it's smooth, and it helps ease the digestion, because the truth is this digestive process is typically working in an overtaxed situation. All right. So when we decide to skip a meal and have some soup instead, sans the crackers and the gluten, keep that stuff out. Just have the soup. You can add some collagen. That really helps with the amino acid profile for the repairing of the body. But skipping a meal, whether, maybe that's dinner, substituting it for soup, or doing that in the morning or at lunchtime, find a meal that it's going to be supportive for you to take a break and rest. I like to do it sometimes at night, so that in the morning I've also got that full sleep cycle, so that when I wake up, I just feel reconnected. It's amazing, And I may have talked about this last week, but I want to reiterate. In the past, I was a hardcore raw vegan, and I would go on 10, 20, 30-day cleanses. I would guide people through these extended fasts. And I know now that sometimes that can be it can cause more stress on the body. There's something about relieving the digestive system so that it can repair itself and the immune system can step up and in and repair. There's something really beautiful about that. But where I practice now and how I coach my clients are to do shorter fasts that are more attainable and utilize those same strengths of building our own stem cells from the digestive tract, building, repairing our immunity. And we can do this from skipping a meal, from 24-hour fasts, from shorter styles that are more sustainable, right? And they don't cause so many ups and downs, because I don't know how many clients I speak to, they're like, oh, I did the 30-day celery cleanse or 10-day celery cleanse and I lost all this weight and then it came back right away. And that can be frustrating because we're really wanting to carry on the benefits of our cleanse, the benefits of a fasting effort, to carry that on beyond our fasting time. Okay, so skipping a meal, substituting it for some lovely soup that's nourishing and easy to digest, soothing to the digestive tract. That is a great way to do a gentle reset for your digestive system. Do it at night. See how you feel in the morning. I bet it's a helpful tip. Let me know how that works for you. Okay, so also spoke about, what are we going to do for biohacks? How do we best take care of ourselves at home? And if I didn't say it in the beginning, I want to make sure to say it now. Tara, the metabolic therapist, I am not a doctor. I am not a doctor. I love and appreciate the doctors in this world. And I am a part of your healthcare team, meaning I'm on the ground. I'm on the ground helping with behavior change for best choices around consumption and lifestyle. Let me reiterate. Our body composition, how strong it is, how fit it is. It's not just how it looks, where we carry our weight, where we carry ourselves, and the fitness of our cells. This is what we refer to as body composition. Our body composition is determined 80% by what we put in our mouth. So what we're consuming, 80%, this has to take in, accept, get rid of what it doesn't want, and then also balance the chemical responses within the body that may cause more stress or be supportive of nourishing and actually providing fuel to the body. And that's really why we eat, right? To fuel this beautiful body. So 80% is what we put into our mouth. The other 20%, 10% sleep. 10%. 10%. This is huge. This is huge to remember. Our body repairs itself. And this is when we're in that part of the brain, not back here is the fight or flight, but in the amygdala is where we have the rest and digest. So our body, we're supposed to relax. It should be easy to relax after a meal and let the incredibly designed digestive system do its job and sort through our nourishment. When we're eating in a hurry, on the go, when we're just, shoving, food into our mouth, that's going to impact our ability to digest well. It's also going to impact our ability to get to sleep and stay asleep. So sleep hygiene is important. And more because of our lifestyles, how we are, spending so much more time in front of the screens, the harmful blue rays from blue lights from the screens, they tell our retinas that it's like peak of the day, that it's like noon. And so our hormones are turned on, and we're on like it's middle of the day. We're supposed to be active and doing. This is like when the natural cortisol starts around like 10 a.m. We feel strong. It's in alignment with nature. We have this energy. Yet when our body believes that it's noon and it's 10 o'clock at night and we're supposed to be winding down and going to sleep so that the body can repair itself, our sleep gets all wonky. We're waking up a lot. We're, waking up in the morning feeling other than refreshed and renewed. So I want to share with you a biohack. Maybe you've heard of it. If you have and you haven't been doing it lately, I want to remind you. And if this is new for you, we call it grounding. Also, you may have heard the term called earthing. It's literally putting our bare feet on the earth. Walk outside, take your shoes off. Let your feet feel the grass, the rocks, the earth beneath you. This helps it literally grounds our nervous system. It reconnects because on the soles of our feet and on the pads of our hands are the ends of these nervous, the nerves, right? And when we connect to the earth's magnetic frequencies, it helps to regulate our nervous systems. We are species of this planet. And there's something phenomenal about harmonizing our circadian rhythms. So this is our natural wake and rest cycles. So when we're totally in tune with the planet, we are like animals. We're waking with the sunrise. We're active during the day. When the sun starts to go down, we too are resting and getting more quiet, preparing for our sleep cycle. So when our circadian rhythms are in harmony with Earth's circadian rhythms, our hormones, our digestion, all of our body's systems work more in harmony. If you get anything from today, go outside and put your feet in the earth. I do this also. I try to do it first thing in the morning, definitely after the workday, and then any time in between. Take a break, and sometimes I'll set my alarm on my phone to remind me every 90 minutes to get up, because sitting, maybe you joined me. We had a live chair yoga. I'm wanting to bring circulation and movement to folks that are saying, that are sedentary, that, say that, oh, yoga's hard, or I'm injured, or I can't do that. I'm really wanting to bring circulation and breath to all the nooks and crannies of the body. So grounding helps to reconnect and reset our nervous system. So put your bare feet in the earth often, as soon as possible. See how you feel. Nature heals. Okay. That I may have just, did 10%. Okay, so 80%, 10% sleep, and then another 10% is what we call stress management. So how do we deal with our stressors? Stress is something, it's part of life. And you probably remember, the value of good stressors. I felt a little nervous before pressing live here. This is my second one. I'm doing my best to learn how to do this, and I want to invite and inspire connection to self and like-minded people. for this Trust Your Guts Club. And so I felt a little nervous before getting on today, Well, that's good stress, it's good stress. It's like stretching us, try something new. That's different than feeling, and I can relate, when I've got too many things that I'm trying to multitask, and I'm feeling pressed for time, and there's not enough. There's, this feeling of like urgency. And how much has that shifted in our lifestyle? I'm probably sharing my age here, but remember 15 years ago, even before flip phones, or maybe that was the beginning of flip phones, like before smartphones, life was even a little more slow. Whereas now it's just so quick. And what happens is our dopamine receptors, these are those feel-good receptors in the brain. When we are constantly stimulated online, on these phones with deadlines and, what's the word? Forgive me, I'm seeking the word, exhilaration. That's the word. When we're consistently, constantly, exhilarated and working from that high, what happens is the dopamine receptors, they start to get dull. And then you need more of a stimulus. You need more to feel it. And what used to create connection and ease and inspiration maybe just isn't that stimulating for you anymore. So we take breaks. We put the phone down. Put the phone down. There's studies, like when it's just on the table while we're eating, when we're looking at it, these things are designed to stimulate our pleasure sensors deep within our brain. Have you ever felt addicted to email, addicted to social media? These are, maybe they didn't start out with intentions for that to happen, but it's where we are now. And so managing our stress by having regular set hours, exercise, routines, sleep, and especially getting off that phone before you go to bed at night. Give yourself an hour. Research says 2. Please practice keeping your phone outside of your sleeping space. There's one thing that we can do. If we wake up at night and we reach over and turn on that screen to just check our messages, it's activating that part in our brain that says it's noon. So let's try something different. Put it on airplane mode. Sometimes I need my phone to act as my alarm clock. So I'll put it in airplane mode. I'll put it way far away from the bed so that it wakes me up in the morning, and that's it. And then I commit to my morning practice. Let's commit to our morning routine that first is connecting our nervous system with the earth. So getting our feet in the earth as soon as possible, doing breath work and meditation. Join me on live yoga channel so that we can do more and more of this practice together. All right. So I also said that we would talk about emotional intelligence. I want to include this. My vision for these Trust Your Guts Club is that we start to get more and more people here. We're sharing in questions and discussions. We're also connecting to our emotional intelligence, and we're increasing our EQ, if you will. And we do this by expanding. I've got these laminated sheets. If you're interested in them, I am so happy. Leave me a message. I'll get these to you. I can email them to you. But what this is work taken from compassionate communication, also known as nonviolent communication. And this is a list of feelings. And it has everything on it. On one side, it's like when we're feeling positive emotions, things like compassionate, I'm feeling friendly, surprised, vibrant, hopeful. And on this other side are other than positive emotions, heartbroken, disappointed, discouraged. But what these do, these practicing and expanding our feelings vocabulary really helps us to understand ourselves more. Stay with me here. I'll get here shortly. Because when we're just walking around, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm fine. Oh, no, 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 it's okay, it's okay. One, we're not being honest with ourselves or others. I'm good, I'm good. We're just going to muscle on through it. That causes stress in itself, or denying ourselves. And we're not really getting to know ourselves. So when we take the time to identify what we're feeling, and sure, I've got this great expansive list of lots of words to describe it, but I want to share with you a simple takeaway that I learned from a men's group that I very much respect, but a men's group, teaching feeling language to men that maybe weren't brought up on it being okay to utilize feelings messages. So there's a rhyme for, vocabulary for feelings. So mad, sad, glad, frad, and bad. Frad and bad. Frad stands for afraid, and bad stands for shame. But we shorten it so that it all rhymes and it's easier to remember. Mad, sad, glad, frad, and bad. So we can connect with ourselves. I'm feeling mad. I'm feeling glad. Really, like what is happening? It's more than I'm good, I'm fine. There's things that are real here. And then what we do when we identify those feelings, that's one thing. And we can trust that feelings comes from thought. So we'll think a thought, and it evokes the feelings. So I'm not saying like, oh, let's just, change our thoughts, change our feelings. Like that can be a tool that we utilize, but sometimes it's not believable. If I'm mad and I try and tell myself, I'm glad, think happy thoughts, I don't believe it. I could say I'm mad and I look forward to being glad again. That's a little bit more believable. So coming back to why we identify these feelings that we're having, because what happens, and this is another sheet of universal human needs. Needs. Every human being has them. And it's not just food, shelter, sleep, and sex. It's not. There are beautiful human needs for creativity, for consideration. We all have beautiful human needs to matter. We have beautiful human needs for peace of mind, for protection, for independence and power. Again, let me know if you'd like this full list. Yeah, the idea here is we connect to and identify our feelings. And then the next layer is to say, well, what is that connected to? I'm feeling this way because of my value or my need for X. And these values, these needs, they actually live here in the guts. You also may know it as your source of intuition, or people say I have a gut knowing, or in Hawaii, the head is called the mana'o, the heart is called the pu'uwai, and the belly or the gut center is known as the na'au. So trusting our na'au, trust our guts, because this is where we get to know ourselves. And when we can understand ourselves more and more, then we're able to share that with others, and we have a higher likelihood of getting our needs met when we can be more clear with it. So why I bring this up today in the Trust Your Guts Club is because I want to bring in the awareness and expand the consciousness of the value around self-connection. When I take the time, when I'm stressed and I find myself emotionally eating, I can do it and say, all right, I am emotionally eating and I'm feeling stressed because of my needs for what might be a need, competency. I'm wanting to do something well and I'm new at it and I feel nervous because I'm wanting mastery and I'm, nervous. So I can, when I take the time to connect with that, I can then make a conscious choice. Do I really want to eat to self-soothe? Is that really going to help me? Or is there a way that I can make a hydrating beverage that might soothe my insides? Or can I go take a walk? Can I go put my feet in the earth? Can I hug my dog or my lover? What else can I do? But you see, there's when we take the time to slow down, we're self-connecting and then we're making conscious choices. Share this with people, especially when they're saying, oh, I don't know, I opened up the chip bag and the next thing I know, the whole thing was gone. It was like I couldn't even control myself. Somewhere before the chip bag was opened or during, there's a moment to pause and self-connect. And when we build these skills for self-listening and self-understanding, we're expanding our confidence, we're growing in self-love, and we're building stability and tools that we can rely upon for the rest of our days here on planet Earth. So, thanks so much for joining me today, y'all. I've been chatting aplenty. I'll be here again next week. I'd love to hear what else you'd like to learn about. Oh, my girlfriend wanted to know about which are the best fats. So please get out all the trans fats. Cut them out of your life religiously. Get them out of your kitchen. And what I'm talking about here is canola oil, soybean oil, any refined seed oil. Cut that shit out. It causes brain damage, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. It causes oxidation all along the cells. There's nothing good about these rancid oils in any part of the body. We can talk more about that next time, again, just to see how you were able to identify, wow, these kinds of oils are rampant. Even at Whole Foods, most of the hot bar, it's like made with canola oil. It's swaggy. All right, so use only the best oils. So avocado oil has been hitting the scene and easy to get. Avocado oil, high-end olive oil, spend it, you're worth it. As well as get the best coconut oils. I like coconut oil from Tropical Traditions. They have high-end standards around their oils. So this is really important too. And then of course, all the good fats that come from avocados and fat for the brain and all the organs. So taking back the empowerment from healthy fats. And then of course, if you consume animal products, getting those fatty cuts of meat, because one, it increases flavor and it also helps to satiate the body. We actually utilize fat within our body to uptake the vitamins that we're utilizing through our food, through our supplementation. All right. Thank you, Trust Your Gut Club members. We are so happy. I am so happy to get on here and share a little bit more about me and connect with you. Please come back, leave a comment, let me know what you'd love. Like this, subscribe to our channel so that you can get reminders about us doing this more. And I'm so happy to share my aloha with you. So have the best day ever. Lots of love. Aloha.